What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Clutch Cinema Talk. In this video, we're going to be talking all spoilers from the new Joker movie that came out last week. So spoilers. I am warning you. I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, you spoiled. This is literally a spoiler video. Alright? If you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie and then come right back here. I'll be waiting. But for all you other ones, this is all spoilers. Alright? Let's talk spoilers. Now, before talking about any particular scenes and anything like that, we just gotta say Joaquin Phoenix was absolutely amazing. Amazing. He was so good. I think it was like 15-20 minutes into the movie. I forgot what part it was. I think it was on the bus. It was a part where he was laughing. And he was laughing and this and that. And I was just watching it and I was like, wow. I looked over at my friend. I was like, what? It was giving me chills. His performance was so chilling. It was just that laugh. That laugh was so unsettling because the inclusion of saying it was a disorder he had where he could just laugh uncontrollably. That just made it so much more. Oh, he was just laughing in awkward situations and stuff like that, like in the train scene when he's laughing when the woman's getting harassed and this and that. It was so good. Like there was parts where you could hear him like wheezing. He was just like, cause it was literally uncontrollable. He couldn't control his laughing, and that was just awesome. That was perfect. I love that part about that. There was also a scene where when he's walking out of that clown hub, that's what I'm gonna call it. I don't know what it's really called. Clown hub, whatever. And he's walking out, and the guy who gives him the gun, and he makes a joke about how the small guy, if he was the clown, that they would have caught him already because he's so short or whatever. And then Joaquin Phoenix, Arthur, he's walking down, he's laughing, he's like ah, and he just abruptly stops and he goes back to seriousness. I was like, wow, that was sick. That was awesome. I love that. And other than him doing like the laughing and the uncomfortable positions and stuff like that, situations, Phoenix really sells the fact that he was like a broken man inside. He never really had a hold on reality and who he was. And you know, when he's talking about the psychiatrist and everything, he's like, I never feel like I existed. And that constant dreaming of wanting to be somebody of importance. Like, he wanted to be, like Robert De Niro as the talk show host. He wanted to be like him. He started daydreaming about it. And it kind of reminded me of Requiem for a Dream. I know a lot of people wanted to make that connection. It just reminded me of, like, the woman wanted to be on the talk show like that. She was so obsessed with it. And then in here, he just wanted to be somebody because his mom was saying, oh, you're gonna be like a life of this world and everything. And he wants to be a comedian, right? He wants to be a stand-up comedian, which draws a direct reference to The Killing Joke, where he was a failed stand-up comedian. And man, let me tell you, that stand-up mic session, that was tough. Oof, I was crawling around in my seat. That was so bad, man. I can't even imagine being there. Of him just laughing and not even being able to get that joke out. Oh my god, how could you sit through that? Which brings me to the point of the girl. What it makes it seem as his love interest. When he went barging in through the door on her and he just kissed her, I looked at my friend. I was like, what? I was like, is this how the real world works? Is that how it works? You just barge in on people's doors and go to town on them like that? No, something's off. So then when she's sitting there, she's like laughing, she's smiling through the comedy act. She's like, I was like, no. Something is weird. No human being could sit through that with a straight smiley face like this. Yeah, he's so cute, this and that. There was something off. And then it turned out to be something is off, which I wanted to ask you guys. How did you feel about that little you know, how she's not real. The only problem I had with that thing was how they had to have like a Fight Club montage, where it's like where they show the scene and she's not there, and I was like, we get it. I would have preferred if they just had that little subtle nod where she walks in and she's like, "Ooh, you're the guy from down the hallway. What do you do in my house?" And that's when everyone in the theater was like, "What? She doesn't recognize him?" Like, oh, she's not. That all was imagined. That was subtle enough. That was subtle enough. They didn't have to put that whole Fight Club thing in. That was subtle enough. And then I'll get back to this point later when I talk about theories. Also, one quick comment. How does a recording of an open mic session in the 80s make it to a talk show? Don't give me this BS. Someone was recording it because it's 1981. Who's recording it? Something to think about. Yeah, so then life's all miserable for him, you know, with the clown job, and everyone's picking on him, and then they tell him like, oh yeah, we're getting too many complaints, this and that. It's not looking good for you, my man Arthur. And he's like, really, it wasn't even my fault. And then when they're in the locker room and the guy gives him the gun, I was like, oh, that's you. Why would you give a mentally unstable man a gun? And then the funny thing is, this whatever mental condition, I'm not talking about the laughing. I'm talking about the other thing going on. It's very vague. You know, that movie mental illness that just drives people insane. That's what he had. The movie mental illness that drove him insane. That's the disorder he had. So even the gun, and it was so funny when he's playing with it in the living room, and he's like, "Oh, you don't like my dancing?" Bah! And he's like flipping out like, "Yo, that was." Ma, I was watching a war movie, even though it sounds like a game show. It was a war movie. Oh, my fault. And then, and then when you think that was nuts, when when he's in the children's hospital, oh my God, he's dancing. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And then the gun just flips out, and he's like, "Oh shit, oh!" And then kid's pointing at it. She's like, "Bang!" I was no, Arthur, what are you doing? So then it obviously gets him fired, and they're like, why would you bring a gun? And he's like, "It's because of my act. It's because of my act." And then the problem is when he kills the 3 people on the subway. Now that scene, that was the first scene that got me like, whoa, wow, what the? Because they would just beat him down, boom, boom, boom. And you know, it was funny because you know it's coming. You know he's gonna shoot them, but it just happens so fast. Like, bam, right through the chest, right through the head, and the guy running. Like, there's a certain feeling where you like, these guys deserve it, but then there's this other feeling where it's just like, this is actually horrifying to watch. I mean, it was just so real of him just running and there's no one in the station and just going like this, boom, 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 and that was just wow. And then that's not even the craziest part about this movie either. Like, when I was thinking of that, I was just like, you could see this on the news where 3 people just get shot in the train station by someone dressed up as a clown, and I'm sure something like that has happened before, but it just felt like a real thing that could happen, you know, and that just made it more chilling. So let's fast forward to that Wayne Manor part. When he goes to the Wayne Manor and he sees Bruce. First of all, Bruce, what is Alfred teaching you? How many people are walking down the street by Wayne Manor? First of all, and then when you see a guy with a clown nose, and he's like, and this and that, Bruce is like, you know, magic. I never seen a clown before. That's what happens when you raise your kids in a manner like that. They go walking up to these people, and then he's like, oh, magic, and he's not smiling, and then Arthur, he's like, oh yeah, why aren't you smiling? And he puts his fingers in his mouth, you know, like this. Bruce, could you smack his hand or something to get those hands out of your mouth? That is disgusting. And then when Alfred comes over, oh my goodness, if I saw my child getting fingers in his mouth, that I don't ever want to say that sentence ever again. I would smack the living daylight out of that guy. What? Ugh. Disgusting, man. I guess it makes for an interesting visual, Joker visual, you know? It's a money shot. So then more things happen. You know, he finds out that Thomas Wayne might be his dad, whatever. Then he goes to look for him, and then apparently he sneaks into this showing of Charlie Chaplin. I think it was. Somehow he gets through. Oh, and while all this is going on, there's like a Joker uprising, not a Joker uprising, a clown uprising, where people in clown masks are going around and having like this what protest. That's what it is, or something like that. And then what else happens? Oh yeah, Thomas Wayne punches him in the mouth. He gets documents saying that his mom is actually from Arkham. Blah 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 blah. And then he goes back to the hospital and just kills his own mom. And we find out that he was being abused, and that just adds on to a whole bunch of sympathy that we're already feeling for this guy. That he was beaten, he was left tied up to a radiator. Like, God, he had head trauma. That's not good. Wow. And then he kills his mom. And then that moment was kind of a little flip where he kind of morphs and starts moving up into this Joker part. That was a kind of flip. That was a flip. So then out of nowhere he gets a call. Boo-doo-boo-boo. Oh, even before the call, when he's at the hospital, he's watching, and he's like, oh, that's me on TV, and the Robert De Niro show. I'm gonna call it the Robert De Niro show. Robert De Niro show, and then Robert De Niro is just cutting his ass. Oh my God, he's saying how this guy sucks. He this and that and this and that, and Arthur, he's just like, all right, okay. And then when he gets home, he gets a call. We want you on the show because this and this is getting so much publicity because you suck. That's not what she says. So he's like, okay. She's like, how would you like to be on our show? That sounds fire. Okay. So then he's getting ready for the show, and he's practicing the timing and the hello, and then he sits on the couch, and then he does the little knock joke, and he takes the gun out, and that's when I was like, whoa, what's going on? And he's like, knock knock, who's there? Bang. And then that's when you led to believe that he's gonna kill himself on national TV, and I was like, that is crazy enough. I guess he's just had it, and he's just gonna show that this is what happens when you're not taking care of the mentally disabled. Because even before that, he finds out that they cut off the funds for helping him. That's when he has the whole talk, you're not listening to me, and she just goes like, they cut off our funds. I'm like, wow, you really weren't listening. And yeah, so he's like, I'm just gonna shoot myself on TV. That's what we're led to believe. So he's putting on the makeup and this and that, and he's having a great time. Because he's really embracing himself now. He's really embracing himself. The guy who gave him the gun, and then the short guy come in. And they're like, yeah, we heard about your mom and this and that. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, just takes the scissors, bah, bah, just bam, bam, right on the wall, and blood everywhere. And then the short guy is just in the corner, just in, like, oh my God, what is happening? And then they're just chilling there, and he's like, you're good. Get out of here. You could go. You're chill. You're pretty fire. You're valid. And he's like, oh, don't kill me, okay? And then he's walking in the door, and then such a brilliant scene. It turns out that the top lock is still locked, and he can't reach it. And that's a great scene, because we don't know, like, at that moment, you don't know if Joker purposely locked it so that he would lead him there, and then when he finds out he locks it, he just kills him, or that he actually didn't think of it, and it was just like you know, oh yeah, I forgot. And then it turns out that he let him go. That was great. Got a lot of laughs. That was a great scene. So then he's ready. He got the badass makeup on, and he's got the cigarette. He's like, I'm gonna kill at this. I'm gonna kill at this talk show. Literally. But then before that, he's dancing down, and hey, I forgot what song it was. Yeah, something like, hey. And then he's dancing, and then the police are like, hey, whoa, look, there he is. And then he's dipping. This chasing was pretty fire. Although He should have been dead once that car hit him. I'm sorry. You are not walking away from that. You are dead. Yeah, then he gets into the subway and he gets into the train, and there's more clowns, even more protesting, and they're all there, and he's going through the cars, and he's shoving and the police officers shoving, and you know there's a fight coming. Someone's just gonna get pushed, and it's gonna be mayhem, and that's exactly what happens. Joker accidentally, oh no, he doesn't accidentally. He takes the mask off someone, and then he puts it on, and then the guy, he thinks it's someone else, and bam, bam, and then the cops, they see the cops, and then bam, bam, and it just goes mayhem. The train stops, it opens, they spill onto the platform, just beating the daylight out of these police officers. And Joker, he's just walking away, and he's like, he's like laughing. He's like, look at those fools, and he's got a cigarette, and boom, and he's walking away while the police officers are running. I don't know why the police officers didn't stop him, but it made for a cool visual, and that's always what matters in movies. So then we get to the finale, the scene. We get him, and he's at the talk show, and he's there in his little room, and then De Niro and what's that called? The guy. What are those people called? I forgot. And then they come in, and they're like, "Wow, you look like a clown. Do you think this is a good idea, Robert De Niro? You know, everything going on." And he's like, no, that's totally fine, right? And then he's like, yeah, I'm not into politics. This was a horrible idea. How could you let him go on national TV? On national TV. Just as a clown. With everything going on. And people going, the clowns. How? But I don't know. These clowns are going all over the place, and you're gonna let him on TV? You're gonna let him on TV. And he does something stupid, which he does do something stupid. Beyond stupid, actually. Do you think that's good? Oh, yeah, you know, it makes for the views. We're gonna get good views. When people are talking, that gets more views. That is correct. But, why would you do that? The views are important, I guess. So then he comes on and he does the little presentation, and he comes out and he twirls and he kisses the girl, and he's like, I am finessing this. And then even there, De Niro's still talking smack about him. He's saying, oh yeah, this guy really does need a doctor. Like right in front of his face, man. Oh my, for the views. And then this whole scene, right when he brings out the joke book, right, and he's about to go into the joke, and then I think he sees a picture of Wayne, right, and then that's when he kind of turns it around, what he was gonna do. This whole scene was so tense and perfectly paced that you felt like you were actually watching this live. I mean, in a way you were, but you were actually watching this live on TV, and you felt something bad was gonna come out, because he's like, oh yeah, I think it's funny how I killed those 3 people on the train. And they're like, that was you? He's like, yeah. And they're like, that's not funny. He's like, oh, but it is, because you guys suck. You guys don't look out for the other guy. People like me and everyone out there, you guys suck. You guys don't know what it's like to be us. And it made up for that interesting point where the people up here, people down there, they don't know what it's like that, right? And that scene was tense. And then he comes out with you want to hear one more joke? And that's when he's like, oh, you see the guy in the back when he's like, should have listened to that guy. You should have listened to that guy. And then maybe the most up in your face moment I've seen in a while. He straight up just paints De Niro's wall with De Niro's brains. Just that happened so fast. I jumped out of my seat. I was like, he and people were screaming and everything. And it was funny because this scene is very similar to The Dark Knight Returns Part 2, where Joker, he comes out of like he has a psychiatrist with him, and they've been working, whatever, and the psychiatrist is like, oh, he's fine, we're working on him, and the Joker's like, I'm gonna kill everyone in this room. And then the talk show was like, it was a talk show too, and the talk show host, he's like, that's weird. And then the guy's like, oh no, that's fine, he's fine, he's just expressing how much he wants to be here. And then he has the mug, and he's like, could I keep this? Joker's like, could I keep this? And then the talk show host is like, yeah, we get 100 of those. And he's like, all right, cool. Smashes it, slits the guy's throat, gas comes into the whole place, everyone's dying and everything like that. It just escalates so fast like that, and he just kills everybody in the room. And that's what it reminded me of. But that scene was just so way too real, very intense, and did not leave anything up for interpretation. It was CG, but blah, like, wow. And then they pull a Dark Knight scene where he's in the cop car and he's watching everything, and people are flipping cars and doing everything, and riot stuff, regular riot stuff. And they're like, yeah, you see what you did? And he's like, yeah, isn't this awesome? What? And then a truck, boom, breaks. And I thought he was dead. I really thought he was dead right there. And like that he just caused all this insanity. And then sneeze is coming. Hold up. Woo! So then they bring him out, and then they put him on the hood, and then everything is going absolutely nuts. What happens? He gets up, he wakes up, and he sees everything, and he's like, this is pretty cool. I like this. Everyone loves me. And he starts dancing, and then such a cool moment when he gets the blood, and he's like, it's Joker. Yes, that's me. And he just embraces it. That's when he's gone, so down, so past redemption. He's just a Joker right there. And now that brings me to a part that I don't like. All in this insanity. When you see Monarch Theater, we're like, uh-oh, don't do it. You see the Mask of Zorro, we're like, they're gonna do it, aren't they? You see a man and a woman and a little boy walking out, and that's when you're like, they're going to do it. They are going to do it. And I mean, this isn't even like for the 537th time, they are going to pop the Waynes. As if we did not see this 5 million times in every Batman adaptation. It wasn't necessary. I don't think it was necessary. The fact that that's a shoehorn Batman's origin in there, I didn't like that. It just didn't feel necessary. It was just like a big sigh moment. Just like, oh my god, again. Let me guess, the boom and then the pearls. Same BS, man. It's the same thing. We've seen it so many times. It doesn't even feel like anything anymore. We've seen it so many times. It just doesn't have the weight it once had. Like, you could search up the amount of times the Waynes have been killed, and there are a lot of times. Like, you could, it's almost funny. It's almost funny at this point. You're like, these guys, they're going down the same alley. What are they doing? It's just, they didn't need that. Come on, really? So that brings us to the real end, when it just cuts to black, and then he's at the psychiatrist, and he's there, and then he laughs. I think that's what happens. He's like, I just thought of something funny, and she's like, what was it? And then he thinks of Bruce Wayne's parents. I mean, Bruce Wayne, standing over his parents, and he's like, you wouldn't have gotten it. You won't get it. And then it's funny because before that, they play it off. They make it seem like he imagined all of this. Now, this is gonna be talked about for like ever, if any of this happened. I saw that, right? And then it gives you that little, well, did it happen? Did it not? What happened? I mean, it was, that little inclusion was cool, I guess. I mean, now it's just gonna mess with people's heads, and it's just like, oh, did it happen? Just something to talk about. And then, I don't know, maybe it didn't. There's problems about it because let's bring up a point like where where the girl is, where he was imaginary with him, right? So if it was all in his head, why in his head would he imagine her being with him? Why wouldn't it just be she was with him the whole time and it wasn't imagination? You get what I'm saying? Why would, if it was in his head, why would that have to be that? That's a little too inception-y for his head, don't you think? That was one thing I was thinking about. Also, why would the revelation of him not really being Wayne's son be in his head too? Like, why would he have to go through that in his head? Why can't he just, either he's not or he was? It was right? You get what I'm saying? How there's a little bit like unnecessary stuff that would be in his head if it actually was all a dream. Now, we do get that he's an unreliable narrator. We do get that because she wasn't with him, and he has those dreams and this and that. There's some talk that whole talk show thing didn't even actually exist, that it didn't actually happen. Maybe it was in his head, but me, I am going to just say, I guess some parts happened, some didn't happen. Am I gonna say what parts? No. All right. I just liked it how it was. I just liked for what it was. If I get a little too much into this, I'm gonna mess up my head, and it's going to suck. Maybe when I watch it the second time, I'll get clear. I'll probably watch it the second time this week. But I think most of it was real. Some parts were parts of his imagination. Now this part, I feel like it's a couple years in the future. I don't think it's right off the bat. I mean, I don't know. You see, now I'm thinking too much, man. Why did they have to do this? Now, as you all know, they had this talk about the Joker movie, raising all that gun stuff. I have no comment on that. What I do think people should be talking about is how the mentally disabled are being treated. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because they did take an interesting approach in this movie with that. Right? Yeah, I'm not going to get into all that nonsense. Stuff. Oh, I'm not going to get into that stuff. But listen, man, Joker was a fun movie. It was a really fun movie. I really liked it. I know I gave it a kind of a low rate, 8.2, but that's just because I didn't. The message, it was like a mirror to society kind of thing. This is what's going on, right? Maybe. I think so. That society is just gonna turn you into this person? I don't know, something like that. If you don't take care of everybody, bad things are gonna happen. This and this and that, this and this and this and that. Sure. The mirror to society thing, I get it. I just think they should have had a more, solid point they were trying to get out there. I don't know about this whole mirror to society. That's kind of a little basic. That's what I think. It was a little basic. But I want to hear what you guys think happened at the end of Joker. Was it real? Was it not real? And what did you think about the movie? Did you like this interpretation of Joker? Did you like this Joker more than any other of the Jokers? Or do you still prefer some of the older Jokers? What do you think about this movie? Did you have a fun time watching it? Would you watch it again? Do you think they're gonna make another movie after this? I certainly hope not. And did you like the killing of the Waynes again? I mean, search up how many times the Waynes get killed. You'll see. But yeah, this has been my spoiler talk. It's pretty long, probably. I don't know. If you made it this far, thank you. Drop a like, comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. Watch my Joker review if you have not seen it already. Watch some of my other reviews. How about it? I also have a Comic-Con vlog where I just passed the Joker if you have not seen it. But until the next video, it's been your boy Casey on Clutch Cinema Talk. I will see you in the next video.